I'm here with BWill, TFTV founder. What do you think about today's performance today?
Man, I think it was shitty. Although, with Tannehill alone, I think it was shitty. I can't say as a team performance it was bad, but, the defense played their ass off. They was on the field a lot because we couldn't convert on third down. I don't think we had a third down conversion all day. We didn't convert on third down. We was terrible in the red zone. And I attribute it to Tannehill. Also, it was Tannehill, but partly the receivers didn't really get open in the first half. Second half, we started getting open a little more. So it's a combination of both. That third interception for Hop, we don't know if it's an interception on Tannehill's part because you just don't know what was the play call there. Was it a back shoulder fade to Hop or was it not? That's something we don't know. But them other two picks and the other two he could have threw that went through Lattimore's hands and the cat from, I think, Tennessee.
Yeah, Lontae Taylor.
Lontae Taylor went through his hands. Those are Tannehill's fault. So, it's just a terrible performance by Tannehill, man. And it gave me PTSD from that Cincinnati game when he threw 3 picks, man. I can't take no more of these games, man. I've said it. I give Tannehill till Halloween. And if he ain't fixed this shit by Halloween, he got to go. And at this point, I don't even care who we put in there. If it's Levis, if it's Willis, we got a good enough defense. They're going to keep us in games. We got to figure out the future, man, because Tannehill's not it.
Yeah, it usually gave me some PTSD of that Cincinnati game. I didn't want to relive
terrible,
that.
Man.
I didn't want to relieve that performance. But do you think that there's a way for Tannehill to improve from today to next week? Do you think we'll see a better performance?
So here's the thing with Tannehill. I expected him to improve in the offseason. He was too busy taking fucking flight lessons. He wasn't even, what is he doing? He's 35 years old. He's peaked as a quarterback mentally. He looks like he's on the down end of physically because he ain't escaped no pockets today. But the guy's taking flight lessons in the offseason. He needs to be with Westbrook Akina, his favorite target. He needs to be with D-Hop if he was there. We didn't get him in time. He needs to be with the receivers working. I don't want to see this man taking flight certificates. The only thing that was taking flight was the damn Saints defense running down the field after a fucking interception. That shit just pissed me off, man. There's no hope with Tannehill, man.
Speaking of defense, we got robbed today of a defensive touchdown that I called pregame. But what would you say was your favorite part of the performance? And can you give me a player that really stood out?
Man, I've been a big critic of his. I ain't gonna lie. Hooker played his ass off today, starting from the first play. A strip on the kickoff that set the tone for the team, set the tone for the defense. You would think it set the tone for the offense, but we had somebody working against us. But Hooker got an interception, forced fumble and a recovery. Best game I've ever seen Amani Hooker play for us. Best game. The big thing with Hooker is if he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy and produce like that, we got one of the better safeties in the league. But the problem is him staying healthy. Another thing, we got Fulton. I done crowned Kyle Phillips Glass Man. I think we got Glass Man 2 in Christian Fulton. All offseason, we talk about soft tissue injuries in this. Fulton didn't even make it through the first quarter. He comes back in. Next, I see him hobbling off. Next time I see him come back in the game, he's getting burnt, and it's the end of the game. It's just, it's just one thing after another with the Titans, man, injuries-wise, and it's just difficult, man. It's hard being a Titans fan, I'll be honest with you. They gonna give me a heart attack.
Yeah, it's down bad, ain't it, man? Do you think, Derek not getting as many touches in the second half, do you think that kind of, messed up the rhythm of the game? Do you think we could have got some more going if we would have gave him the ball more?
Man, I would say that if the running back that was coming in behind him wasn't doing just as good as Derek. So, Tajay played his ass off. Derek played his ass off. They both played well. And, we've been crying for, a third down back or somebody that can be a good complement to Derek. And we've got that now. I think it's just going to be something that Kelly's going to have to go back and look at. And that's going to be something we have to lean on with Derek and Tajay. He just has to find a way to not make us predictable with one being in the game. Because when you got Henry in the game, there's only a certain amount of things you can do. Tajay in the game, there's only a certain amount of things you can do. He did that to a good extent today, putting them both on the field together in a split backfield. That, it looked good. So he's got some stuff drawn up for Tajay with Henry in the game. Henry, this is something I talked about on the watch along. Henry hasn't been in this situation before, coming as a starting back and then having somebody coming from behind him, that is actually, a credible threat to his position. Even at Alabama, he had the first year he was sitting, he really wasn't doing much, but then he came on the scene. At Tennessee, first year or two, he was sitting under DeMarco Murray. He wasn't the feature back, but he was coming on the scene trying to prove himself. This is a completely different ball game for Henry. But I trust Henry. He's one of the most professional running backs, one of the most professional players we have. Him and Tajay is going to be a great two-headed monster for us, man. I think he'll take it well.